An, an infinite number of possible realities await the observer. So ponder this. Everything in the physical universe is made of subatomic particles such as electrons. By their very nature, these particles, when they exist in pure potential, are in their wave state while they are not being observed. They are potentially everything and nothing until they are observed. They exist everywhere and nowhere until they are observed. Thus, everything in our physical reality exists as pure potential. If a subatomic particle can exist in an infinite number of possible places simultaneously, we are potentially capable of collapsing into existence an infinite number of possible realities. In other words, if you can imagine a future event in your life based on any one of your personal desires, that reality already exists as a possibility in the quantum field, waiting to be observed by you. If your mind can influence the appearance of an electron, then theoretically, it can influence the appearance of any possibility. This means that the quantum field contains a reality in which you are healthy, wealthy, happy, and possess all of the qualities and capabilities of the idealized self that you hold in your thoughts. Stay with me, and you will see that with the willful intention, sincere application of new knowledge, repeated daily efforts, you can use your mind as the observer to collapse quantum particles and organize a vast number of subatomic particles, waves of probability into a desired physical event called an experience in your life. Like clay, the energy of infinite possibilities is shaped by consciousness, your mind. And if all matters is made of energy, it makes sense that consciousness, mind in this case, as Newton and Descartes called it, an energy, matter according to quantum model, and so intimately related that they are one. Mind and matter are completely entangled. Your consciousness has efforts on energy because your consciousness is energy and energy has consciousness. You are powerful enough to influence matter because at the most elementary level, you are energy with a consciousness. You are mindful matter. In the quantum model, the physical universe is an immaterial, interconnected, unified field of information, potentially everything, but physically nothing. The quantum universe is just waiting for a conscious observer, you or me, to come along and influence the energy in the form of potential matter by using the mind and consciousness, which are themselves energy, to make waves of energetic probabilities coalesce into physical matter. Just as the wave of possibility of the electron manifests as a particle within a specific momentary event, we as observers cause a particle or groups of particles to manifest physical experiences in the form of events into our lives. This is crucial to understanding how you can cause an effect or make a change in your life. When you learn how to sharpen your skills of observation and to intentionally affect your destiny, you are well on your way toward living the ideal version of your life by becoming the idealized version of yourself. Before we move on, I'd like to share a story that illustrates just how powerful and effective being in contact with the greater intelligence can be in making change an integral part of your life. My children, now young adults, have used a meditation similar to the process I will describe to you in part 3 of this book. As a result of practicing these techniques, they've manifested some remarkable adventures. Since their childhood, we've had an agreement that they work on creating material things or events that they want to experience. However, our rule is I don't interfere or assist with producing the outcome. They have to create intended realities on their own, using their minds and interacting with the quantum field. My 20-something-year-old daughter studies art in college. It was springtime, and I asked what she wanted to manifest during the upcoming spring break. She had a laundry list. Instead of typical college student home for summer job, she wanted to work in Italy, learn and experience new things, visit 6 Italian cities, and spend 1 week in Florence. She had some friends there. She wanted to work for the first 6 weeks of the summer, making a decent wage, then spend the rest of the break at home. I commended my daughter for her clear vision and what she wanted, and reminded her the universal intelligence would orchestrate the way her dream summer would manifest. She would take care of what a greater consciousness would handle. She would take care of what, and a greater consciousness would handle the how. Since my daughter is practiced in the art of thinking and feeling ahead of the actual experience, I merely reminded her to not only set an intention every day with regard to what that summer would look like, what people she would see, what events she would transpire, what places she would visit, but also to feel it, be like the experience, so to feel the experiences ahead of time. I asked her to create the vision in her mind until it was so clear and real that the thought she was thinking became an experience in her mind. Her brain's synapses began to wire that information as if it was a reality. If she was still being the young woman in the dorm room with a dream of going to Italy, then she was still the same person living in the same reality. So while it was still March, she had to begin being that young woman who'd been in Italy for half the summer. No problem, she said. She had experiences like this before. When she wanted to be in a music video, when she wanted to experience unlimited shopping spree, both of these transpired in perfect elegance. I then reminded my daughter, you can't get up from your mental creation to this experience as the same person you were when you sat down. You have to get up from your seat as if you just had the most amazing summer of your life. I got it, she said. She understood my reminder that each day she had to change a new state of being. And after every mental creation, she was to go about her day living in an elevated mood of gratitude generated by having had that experience. My daughter called a few weeks later. Dad, the university is offering an art history summer course in Italy. I can get the cost of the program and all the expenses down from $7,000 to $4,000. Can you help me pay for that? Well, it's not that I'm not supportive, an unsupportive parent, but this didn't strike me as what she had originally stated as her target. She was trying to force and control the outcome of the possible destiny of allowing the quantum field to orchestrate the events in a way that was right for her. I advised her to really inhibit the Italian trip and rethink, feel, speak, dream in Italian until she got lost in the experience. A few weeks later, she called again. Her excitement was palpable. She had been in the library chatting with her art history teacher, and they eventually slipped into speaking Italian. Both spoke the language fluently. At that point, her teacher had just remembered, one of my colleagues needs someone to teach level 1 Italian to some American students who will be studying in Italy this summer. Of course, my daughter was hired. Get this, not only would she be paid to teach, all expenses covered, but she would be in 6 different cities in Italy for 6 weeks and spend at least a week in Florence and be able to be home the second half of summer. She manifested her dream job in every aspect of her original vision. This wasn't a case of a young woman pursuing this opportunity with traditional dogged determination to find a program, searching the internet, hounded professors, and so forth. Instead of following cause and effect, my daughter changed her state of being to the extent that she was causing an effect. She was living by the quantum law. She was electromagnetically connected to an intended destiny that existed in the quantum. Her body was drawn to the future event. The experience found her. The outcome was unpredictable. It came in a way that she no way expected. It was synchronized. It was synchronistic. And there was no doubt that it was a result of her internal efforts. Think about this for a moment. What opportunities are out there waiting to find you? Who are you being in this moment, in every other moment? Is your being that way going to attract to you all? Is your being that way going to attract you to all things you desire? Can you change your state of being? And once you inhibit a new mind, can you observe a new destiny? The answers are what the rest of this book is about. So I've been reading this book I've read it 3 times already. This is my 4th time, and I'm actually studying it, as well as other content that this physicist, he has a couple of doctorates, but this is his 3rd book. He has a community, and there's some other people like Joe putting out information like this. So not only something like this 20 years ago would have been looked at as, mysticism or witchcraft or whatever you would have called it. This is now backed in science, and this is just one piece of literature that's out there. There's a lot of other things happening in this industry, but what it comes down to is that with practice, if we can change the way that we're thinking, if we can change ourselves up top, we can change our reality. And through meditation and visualization and consistent practice, that's what this book helps you do. I'll put a link in the stream afterwards when I repost it to where you guys can buy this book. And then when you buy the book, it supports freedom seekers. We've created an affiliate partnership with Amazon. And so we're going to start adding a store. When I recommend things like this book, I'm going to add it to my Amazon store. And then if you guys decide to purchase the book or things that I'm recommending, a small portion will go to the brand. So with that being said, this is Friday the 20th. If you guys want more information about what I'm doing, if you're interested in being on the podcast, which I'm working on now, you can you can add yourself to the calendar. There's a link. I've added a link in the channel notes as well as the video notes itself. I'm going to continue to put out content like this on a daily basis. This is one of the projects that I'm currently working on, so it doesn't have all of my time right now. Hopefully at some point it will, but that's up to you guys and the support that you give when it comes to subscribing, liking, and then going over to the Patreon or other links that I put out there and supporting that way. And I'm not asking for donations. I'm actually offering workshops and courses, and there's a lot of valuable resources. When you go to the website, you can check all that stuff out, as well as working with you one-on-one when it comes to making some sort of positive transformation in your life. Like myself, today is 1,214 days
without drinking alcohol when I used to be an all day, everyday drinker. And that's one of the main reasons why I started this community, is to be able to share with others and to help you guys. And the goal is to be able to take it from a passion to a purpose to something that I'm doing all the time. It's a process, and, looking forward to like this next year, there's a possibility we could open up a healing center and be offering different types of therapies and meditations and things like that. But right now, what I'm doing is focusing on building out this podcast. I have a couple of guests that I've already interviewed and a few more that are lined up, and I'm planning on launching the podcast most likely in January, maybe February. If you're interested in being part of that, reach out. If you just want to see more about what I'm doing, you can go to the links. I have created some, we're in the process of creating some merchandise. So if you wanted to buy a hoodie or a beanie, we're working on those right now. And there will be a link to where you can look at the store and buy merchandise for the Freedom Seekers community. Happy Friday. Hope you guys have a good morning, and reach out if you have any questions or if you are interested in learning more about the community.